Coming up on AgweekTV, farmers in the Northwest Corn Belt continue to assess crop damage after the October snowstorm and freeze event. The cattle industry asks for market reform. Details coming up.
On the Soil Health Minute, I'll talk with Dr. Lee Breeze, the keynote presenter at the upcoming Dirt Workshop.
And we look at the costs and benefits of tiling after one of the wettest crop seasons on record. Thanks for joining us for AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. North Dakota is now under a statewide flood emergency as unprecedented fall flooding takes a toll on crops. Governor Doug Burgum signed an executive order declaring the emergency earlier this week as he and other officials held a series of meetings around the state in communities affected by high water. What conditions have all but stopped the fall harvest?
What we have right now is what's unprecedented about it is that we've got literally billions of dollars of agriculture value that is unharvested.
Ag Commissioner Doug Goring says there are about $2 billion worth of soybeans standing in water in North Dakota and western Minnesota. That's in addition to sugar beets, corn, and other crops that have not been harvested yet. And the Extension Service warns that haying has been deeply affected by water, leaving the potential for a severe shortage of livestock feed in the near future. With the uncooperative weather, farmers in the region continue to face harvest delays in what has been a frustrating crop season. The October snowstorm left corn and soybeans sitting in snowbanks in parts of the Dakotas, which damaged crops and stopped combines. According to USDA, U.S. harvest is the slowest in 10 years. In Minnesota, soybean harvest sits at 42%, nearly 50% behind normal. North Dakota is at 20% versus the 81% average, and in South Dakota, harvest is at 33% compared to the 76% average. Some farmers got back into the fields after the snow melted, but Craig Schoeneman says they'd normally be done with soybean harvest.
You know, it impacted us, probably not as bad as some areas, but we had some snow drifts on some fields, and we're just going around them and go back and pick them up when the snow melts. We've got a good week of soybean harvest left right where we're at.
Corn harvest is also lagging in South Dakota at 9% versus the 29% average. Minnesota is 24% behind normal, and North Dakota is 20% behind. Valley City, North Dakota has been hit particularly hard by flooding, and the area has more than its share of wet soil. Farmer Matt Gast is trying to harvest what he can when he can, but admits it's been difficult to stay positive.
It's been a battle. Everything's been getting stuck. We have to load our trucks on the gravel roads and the township roads because we can't get trucks in the field to get them loaded.
Some farmers will have to wait until a hard freeze to get into wet fields to harvest. With farmers struggling through yet another wet harvest, they may be giving more thought to tiling. In this week's Ag Week cover story, Michael Pates talks to some experts about the costs and benefits of installing field drainage.
As the rain falls, interest in field drainage rises. But how can you tell whether the cost will be worth the reward? Tom Scherer, an NDSU Extension Ag Systems Management Specialist, has been studying tiling for years.
Research has shown that you get, depending on the crop, anywhere from 10 to 15% increase in yield on an annual basis. But there might be years where you get 50, 60, 70%, and there's years when you don't get any. It depends on rainfall.
The cost of commercial tiling can run between $1,000 and $1,300 an acre depending on who does it and when.
It may or may not pay, but it's hard to put a dollar value on if you do get a wet year and you go out there and you have a non-tile field and you leave ruts 2 feet deep.
Some critics intuitively suspect that tile drainage increases spring flooding, but NDSU agronomist Hans Kandel says research indicates the opposite is true. It moves more water out of fields in the fall before spring flooding hits, and he says as it decreases runoff, it also reduces soil erosion. Kandel says the bottom line is tiling can increase yields and make fields easier to manage.
If you put in tile and you can start planting your tiled field 1 week before you can plant your other one, actually the whole farm moves 1 week forward. Even the fields that are not tiled now can be planted early because you have now that extra week.
Kandel says it also helps farmers better control the timing of herbicides, fungicides, and insecticides. Research around the country indicates tiling also increases land values and rent because of increased productivity. And Scherer and Kandel says you can't put a dollar value on peace of mind.
One of the funniest things that farmers are telling me is they can sleep at night. So we're talking about healthcare costs. Now, they probably will also feel better about this and have less stress.
In Fargo, this is Mikkel Pates for Agweek.
You can read more in the next Agweek magazine or at agweek.com. Well, you're supposed to make hay while the sun shines, but what if the sun doesn't shine? The wet summer and fall has also made it difficult to put up good quality hay for livestock. The feed value depends on when the hay was cut, how often it was rained on before it was baled, and what condition it was baled in. Rain doesn't normally affect the crude protein content of hay, but it can negatively impact other nutrients, so producers need to have a feed test run.
Usually protein doesn't decrease, but the energy content certainly goes down 10, 20, 30%. And of course, if it keeps on raining, you have the mold issues that show up, and that just decreases feed quality.
A feed test sets the baseline for mixing a proper ration, especially in the winter when energy needs are greater. He adds using wrap on bales or haylage can also help preserve the nutritional value of that feed. Coming up on AgweekTV,
We'll take a look at how pig barns like the one behind me are contributing to their communities.
Nothing holds more promise than a seed. And when it comes from Peterson Farm Seed, it's backed with a promise from us. We'll sell no seed we wouldn't be happy to plant on our own farm, so that growers like Mark can keep a promise of his own, to teach his kids how to care for the land, their family, and their community, and build a future that extends generations. Grow your promise. Grow Peterson Farm Seed.
At Superior Grain Equipment, we're committed to quality and service, offering you the best in grain storage and dryers for any size operation. Our experts will work with you to determine the most efficient and economical storage solution for your needs. We help protect your bottom line and your future with the industry's best bins and warranties. Make the superior choice for protection today and tomorrow with Superior Grain Equipment.
Explore the convergence of agriculture and technology at Cultivate 2019 on November 14th. Cultivate is an emerging technology in agriculture conference hosted by Emerging Prairie of Fargo. Connect with industry leaders and farmers and learn about how the latest tech innovations are being utilized in agriculture. For more information, visit emergingprairie.com.
One of the things that Mosaic does really well is focuses on balanced crop nutrition in the premium products that we design. And one of those products is Micro Essentials, but it provides in every single granule a nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, in some cases zinc. We added sulfur and zinc with Micro Essentials because sulfur is one of the most efficient nutrients and zinc is the most efficient micronutrient. So our goal is balanced crop nutrition and being able to provide those products to the farmers in the world today.
Ready for more? The new Fendt 900 Vario is impressive on every level. With groundbreaking features, you'll be ready for everyday challenges now and in the future. New smart connectivity solutions make the Fendt 900 series from Butler Machinery an intelligent choice for your farm. We're also proud to carry the Fendt Ideal, a new combine for a new era of farming. Designed to be automated in operation, the Ideal combine is already setting industry standards for efficiency and output. Visit butlermachinery.com to schedule a demo at your operation.
These are trying times for farmers and ranchers and everyone involved in agribusiness. So faith and ag leaders from around the region gathered this week to raise awareness about the current issues and promote resources available to help farm families. The Eastern North Dakota Synod is made up of 196 congregations, many of which are rural areas, so they're on the front lines of the farm crisis. The group reached out to people in ag-related fields and social services to work together to help farm families.
Obviously, there's been a lot of concern about our farm families and our ranchers, and we said as a church, this is our call to come alongside of our families when they're concerned about the future, when they're struggling. There's nothing worse than feeling alone, and we want to make sure that people know that they are indeed supported.
Coalition members are compiling resources such as websites, brochures, podcasts, and videos, as well as a list of assistance programs to make them more readily available to farmers and ranchers. Microsoft is investing in the Fargo tech firm Emerging Prairie's Grand Farm project. The software giant is spending $1.5 million in what's being called the Farm of the Future. Fargo ag tech entrepreneur Barry Batchelor originated the farm idea about a year ago. The goal is to develop artificial intelligence to make farming more productive. Microsoft President Brad Smith says the money will help develop a building at the project site that will include an academy for learning and a makerspace for companies that want to invent and share ideas.
One of the really important elements of the Grand Farm is it puts farmers at the table and gives farmers a voice. And it will be important for the future of this industry that the people who create this technology listen to not only the voices of farmers in North Dakota, but the voices of farmers around the world. And Microsoft can help with that.
Microsoft operates in 170 countries and is worth more than $1 trillion. October is Pork Month, so this week we're taking a look at some of the ways pork producers contribute to their communities. The barns provide good-paying jobs and work to be good stewards of the community. Jenny Schlecht has more on how one pig co-op is being a good employer and a good neighbor.
It's a farrow to wean facility, so we breed in farrow pigs.
Nelson County Pigs Cooperative has been an important part of the region since it opened between Lakota and Michigan in 2006. It's owned by farmers in North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa. It's a state-of-the-art facility that takes care of the environment.
We ship 2 loads of baby pigs out a week, so last year this farm produced 141,000 baby pigs.
18 people work here full-time, making it one of the larger employers in Lakota. Manager Todd Erickson is proud of that.
Because we live here. Our employees live here. We're not bringing people in from other communities. You know, we take pride in our community and we want to be good neighbors.
Being good neighbors means they sponsor 4-H and FFA in Nelson County, and they support employees who are volunteer firefighters. On the day I visited, they were one of the sponsors of Oktoberfest, and their all-pork chili won the chili cook-off. Pavel Danil is farrowing supervisor at the facility. He came from Moldova as part of a cultural exchange program 10 years ago and was asked to stay on. Danil says pork production is much better here than back home.
It's way more knowledgeable, way more technical. We are taking very serious our environment around. We're trying to be a good neighbors. We're producing a healthy, safe food for our consumers.
Danil says he and his wife are happy to be part of the community.
If you have a good neighbors and if you are a good neighbor, you have way much more better community.
In Lakota, this is Jenny Schlecht for Ag Week.
You can read more in the next Ag Week magazine or on agweek.com. Still ahead on AgweekTV, the cattle industry is asking for market reform.
And on the Soil Health Minute, I'll catch up with one of the leading experts in soil health, Dr. Lee Breeze.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow pump features neoprene-lined turbine bearings backed up with a sand collar to prevent debris and grit, all to assure your pump keeps working season after season. Find out more at dynaflowpump.com.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
Upgrade your trailer to electric with the Rolltech electric system from AgriCover. Strong, flexible pivot arms and motor mount rotate and telescope, allowing the roll tube to rise and flex over heaped loads. The positive automatic lock is impossible to back off to control the flow of grain. This integrated system uses one wireless remote to operate up to 10 tarps and hoppers, keeping your driver out of the dust, rain, and harm's way. See the Rolltech system in action at an AgriCover dealer near you. Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
How can one tillage tool handle most field conditions, residue types, and tillage practices? It takes a Renegade, the Summers VRT Renegade. Switch from vertical to aggressive tillage and anywhere in between. Adjust blade angles, tillage depth, and more on the go, all from an iPad. Get the tillage results you want, like only the Summers VRT Renegade can. For more information or a demo, contact your Summers dealer.
A segment of the cattle industry is calling for market reforms. It's in response to the recent plunge in fed cash cattle and futures prices to 10-year lows following the August fire at the Tyson beef plant in Holcomb, Kansas. Feedlots were losing approximately $150 to $250 per head after the fire, while beef packers were reporting record margins from an estimated $350 to $850 per head, depending on the week. I talked to cattle producers about a possible solution. If you talk to many cattle producers, they'll tell you the cattle market is broken. Keith Eichler says the market reaction to the Tyson plant fire in Holcomb, Kansas just proves that.
You can't have increase in meat to the retail people and to the consumer and a decrease to the producer at the same time. It's wrong, and we can see that blatantly.
Joe Vetter with Harriet Livestock says the small cattle producer has no leverage against the big four packers, and they need to be broken up.
They can collude, they can put their heads together, and they can kind of dictate a market. We really don't have a market anymore that reflects supply and demand. It's kind of a dictation by the packer. Whatever they want to give, that's all they're going to give.
Mike Maher says the lack of competition also leads to less negotiated cash sales, which is a problem.
Packers, they're all tied in with the big feedlots, and they own the cattle or they negotiate it before they give them a small profit, so we just don't have no competition left.
Myron Williams says NCBA has been promoting more negotiated cattle, but it's a heavy lift.
They're formula cattle. They're not owned by the plants, but they're owned by, they have contracts with the feedlots, and that's the way business is. I mean, how do you fix that?
Eichler believes promoting U.S. product would help, plus reinstating mandatory country of origin labeling.
This beef is made in America. We don't need South American beef. The Canadian beef is good, and I'm not criticizing them, but first let's take care of America first. Made in the USA, and that's what our beef is.
As far as the USDA investigation into the cattle market, few think it will accomplish anything because of power and politics.
Follow the money. They got a lot more money to spend than the ranchers do.
Williams says slaughter capacity is the toughest fix because it takes a large amount of capital to build additional packing plants. Farmers are hoping for some dry weather for harvest. Here's our agri-weather outlook.
In addition to being unusually rainy and in some cases snowy, October is turning out to be a very cool month across the northern plains, much of the upper Midwest, western Corn Belt, Great Lakes states, and that is not about to change. Cold weather will continue in the middle of the country, even resurging over the next few days. There is a tendency, I think, in the next couple of weeks for the pattern to become a little bit less stormy, though not completely unstormy. I'll explain. There is a chance of another snow system, although right now it does not look like a big monster. The jet stream is going south because it's gone so far north into Alaska and the Yukon. Alaska, and especially northern Alaska, this week will be enjoying, or not, depending on your point of view, unusually and unseasonably mild temperatures. All of the oceans around Alaska very warm once again, and that basically sends the jet stream southward. So we've got some very chilly weather that'll build into the northern plains and upper Midwest this week. Parts of North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota may have a day or two or three this week where it doesn't even get above 32 degrees, and that's without snow on the ground. There will be, toward the end of the week, a bit of a bulge, which will allow things to moderate a bit, but it looks like cool weather will likely build back in next week. Maybe not quite as cold relative to average. Now we're talking the first full week of November now. Still going to look at some fairly consistently cool weather. Southern parts of the Corn Belt will get a little bit of late fall heat, but for the most part, it's a very chilly looking weather pattern. The greatest wet weather will be in the eastern into the Corn Belt this week. Looks like a storm or two. There's some disagreement in the models, but some possibility of some wet snow in through southern Minnesota and western Iowa this week. That looks very iffy. The west coast looking primarily very dry. And the second week in November, things are expected to dry out throughout the middle of the country as the rain shifts mostly to the eastern seaboard.
When harvest comes around, time is precious and you don't have a moment to waste. North Star Ag offers the Lofsness Grain Logic's grain bag loader to deliver versatile grain storage performance load after load. Lofsness's user-friendly grain baggers are easy to load and unload, perfect to get your harvest in the bag. Uptime is crucial. Keep your crew in the field longer with a fuel trailer from Thunder Creek. And don't forget, North Star Ag has Meridian hopper bins for any size operation. See our complete new and used equipment inventory at northstarag.com or give us a call. Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley source for Batco. Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley Batco dealer.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Mother Nature doesn't always cooperate. So when conditions are right, be ready with genuine Case IH parts from Titan Machinery. Only genuine Case IH parts are engineered to keep your equipment running at peak efficiency when you're running around the clock. Don't risk your bottom line with off-brand parts that don't meet the same standards. Visit your local Titan Machinery dealership today to find out why genuine Case IH parts offer the best value and performance for your operation.
With the success of the Case IH Steiger Quad Track and Magnum Road Track tractors, it's no secret why Case IH is the leader of the track. So it wasn't surprising when the competition started imitating us. But only Case IH offers a 5-axle design to give you a smoother ride, more power to the ground, with less berming and compaction. Still, we're flattered. In fact, if we weren't already red, we'd be blushing.
The Ag Week Soil Health Minute is sponsored by the North Dakota Corn Council and the North Dakota Soybean Council.
Welcome back. The Dakota Innovation Research and Technology, or DIRT Workshop, is coming up in December. Coordinator Abby Witt gives us a sneak peek in this week's Soil Health Minute.
At the DIRT Workshop, we want to talk about what matters. So this year we're bringing in independent crop consultant Dr. Lee Breeze as a keynote presenter. So Lee, I wanted to ask you some of the things that you may be covering with this audience of farmers and consultants and industry people that are coming to this meeting.
Well, the first thing I want to talk about is that this meeting's for everybody. No matter what your preferences are, no-till, minimum till, conventional tillage, it's for everybody. And so that's the main message. The other thing is that I want people to come with an open mind, to ask questions, to talk to the presenters, to change ideas with the farmers, with the presenters, with the speakers, and just share those ideas and then take them home and use them.
Given some of the challenging conditions in 2019, is some of that going to be woven into your keynote presentations?
For sure. What we want to do is talk about some of the weather patterns and some of the issues we're facing, and how the presenters and the speakers all have tools and ideas that we can use to try to manage this wet weather and this cold weather better.
So we know 2019 isn't just a one-year deal.
Yeah, we already know we're going to start wet next spring, and depending on how much rain we get next year, it could even go into 2021.
Well, I really look forward to hearing what you have to say at the DIRT Workshop, which is going to be December 9th through the 11th in Fargo. You can find all the information online at dirtworkshopnd.com.
Still ahead on Ag Week TV, nutritionists get a lesson in the value of soy protein.
Big Boy Toys.
Ag Week is excited to bring you the Ag Week app with useful features and the latest news and information right at your fingertips. Get your Ag Week news, weather, and the latest episodes of Ag Week TV. Plus, see real-time information on the futures market and view local cash bids for your crops. Stay updated and take Ag Week with you wherever you are. Download the Ag Week app today.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Ag Week magazine. Reaching over 70,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Ag Week provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. Ag Week. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Ag Week TV Soy Insight, brought to you by the North Dakota Soybean Council.
A group of Fargo area dietitians and nutrition experts got a lesson in the benefits of soy. Mark Messina, the director of the Soy Nutrition Institute, stressed that soy is a source of high-quality protein, has healthy fatty acids, and is easy to incorporate into the diet. He says there's a lot of misinformation about soy, including that it can cause or worsen breast cancer. But in fact, Messina says research shows the opposite is true.
The number one concern was that soy may actually worsen the prognosis of breast cancer patients. Now the health agencies are actually suggesting that soy may benefit breast cancer patients. So in many respects, we've done a 180.
Messina says numerous studies show soy foods don't alter testosterone or estrogen levels in men. In fact, some studies show soy can lower PSA levels, which is an indicator of prostate cancer. He says soy can also slow or prevent the loss of muscle mass as we age. In addition, Messina says new research shows girls who eat just 1 serving of soy protein a day before age 11 have a lower risk of breast cancer as adults. Other benefits of soy include stronger bones and increased memory function in postmenopausal women. It's even shown to reduce wrinkles. Thanks for watching this week's edition of Ag Week TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or download the Ag Week app. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. We'll see you next week.